The definition of adoption, according to Google Dictionary, is to legally take another's child and bring it up as one's own. But it is more than that. Adoption in the ancient world had a different meaning. During those times, it was possible to disown your son if he rebelled against you. But an adopted child? This child could never be disowned, for he was chosen. Adoption is about love, unconditional love, and this is a story of that kind of love.
My name is Gina. When I was in my second year of college, I was faced with an unplanned crisis pregnancy. I really didn't know what I was going to do when I found out I was pregnant. I could choose to be a single mom, or I could choose something else. For me, abortion was not an option, so the only other option I would have is adoption. I ended up going through the rest of my pregnancy not really understanding why things had happened the way they did, and why I was having to be faced with this decision. But I knew that there was a reason for my child being in this world. One day my mom had given me a book on open adoption, and I was blown away at a woman who had done an adoption with 4 boys that was through open adoption. She actually knew the birth moms and had a relationship with them, was there for the baby's birth, and was able to maintain that relationship as their children got older. I tried to find out how I could contact this lady who wrote this book and who had done this for their family, but the only point of contact I had was through James Dobson, who is with Focus on the Family. So I reached out to him and contacted him personally and told him my story. He put me in direct contact with the author of the book, and she ended up putting me in touch with an amazing family for my child. When I talked to Sheila for the first time, it was like an angel that was speaking to me. When I talked to Bob, I knew that he would be a great dad. I was so glad that God was bringing his plans into my life, and it was giving me such peace. I ended up going out to where they lived to have my baby. We didn't have a relationship before then, but we got very close in a quick amount of time. Sheila was able to be with me in the delivery room, and I ended up having to have an emergency C-section, but she was able to be in the room with me. The next day, Bob came in, and I was able to hand Samuel to him for the first time when he saw him. When I left Idaho, we didn't know what the relationship would be in the future. We didn't know if we would stay in contact or not. There's all different types of adoptions, but for me, it was just amazing because I got to see my son as he grew up. There were times we would get together, maybe in the summer for vacation time, with Sheila and Sam, and it was just amazing to see the love that they poured on him. When he was getting older, in the year 2000, Sheila and I started a maternity home, a place for women to go, to have help, to have support, to have encouragement and counseling. Not a place to shun these women away, but a place to lift them up and let them know that people were there for them. I ended up being able to go out to Idaho for the open house, and it was amazing just to see even that come together, where we could work so directly with these amazing women that choose adoption. I ended up staying in contact with them all through the years, and as it turned out, I was able to be in Idaho for Sam's high school graduation, and then he ended up coming to South Carolina, where we live now, to go to college. He met his wife there, they've had a baby. I get to experience being mom to him, but also to be grandma. And his amazing wife, as she's been a surrogate mom 2 times and put herself out there to help other families that couldn't have children otherwise. When I went through my experience, I knew I had to use it for something. I had to make something good come from something that was such a crisis. I ended up going into the adoption field, and my husband and I now own an adoption agency called Hope Embraced Adoptions. And we are very blessed by the people that we work with, both the birth parents and the adopting families. We consider it an honor, and we're so humbled to be a small part of God's great plans.
One day Santana was on Facebook and scrolling through looking at friends' posts, and she noticed that one of her former students from cosmetology school was talking about how she was pregnant and wanting to place her baby for adoption. Santana immediately was drawn to this post, and drawn to Allie, the girl who posted it. She felt in her heart an immediate connection that this was going to be her baby. She reached out to Allie and started talking to her about the situation she was in, and by the end of the conversation, Allie had said that she wanted Santana and Sam to adopt her baby.
Yeah.
Okay, I know everybody's been wondering like what our big news is gonna be, and we're doing this video to like talk about what we're doing, but we're also gonna talk about some other things around that. So you want to tell them?
I mean, we just kind of tell them together.
Okay.
All right. So our big news is we're going to adopt a baby.
Yeah, we're gonna be adopting a little girl. So we're pretty excited about that. We've always known that God has our heart wrapped around adoption, but we didn't know it would be this soon. So I want Sam to tell a little bit of his story.
For the people that are on that don't know, I'm actually adopted myself, and so it's always been been a big part of me. Of course, in my entire life, I've had an open adoption with my birth family, and I told Santana since day one that one day I do want to adopt and pay it forward, because I've been blessed with such amazing adopted family and who is on here, and my birth family who's also on here, and so just always have wanted to just, like I said, pay it forward and be able to do the same thing for another child. And like Santana said, we didn't know it was going to happen so soon. It's at this time in our life, but God's allowed a situation in our lives so that we can do just that. And it's amazing. The situation's actually pretty similar to what my adoption story, and so we're just excited that we get to open our home and open our hearts and our love to a beautiful baby girl that's going to be born in November 11th. And 11/11. So for all you people who think about numbers and stuff like that, so we are super excited.
Yeah, if you guys, a little bit of my story that you guys don't know. So of course Sam was adopted, but I've been a surrogate twice. So carried a baby that was not genetically my own, and placed it with two families.
So
two families, yeah, they weren't the same family. Yeah, two babies. So God just has something on our life and on our heart when it comes to blessing other people and helping other people. And so I've kind of been thinking the past couple weeks, like, God, I want to like leave a legacy, not for myself, but for for God, and I want to be able to help other people. And there's so many ways that God has shown me over the past year. Like, you look back and you think your calling and your life is going to be a certain way, and then it comes out completely different than you thought it would be, but it's exactly what God wanted you to do and who God wanted you to be. So we are excited, and yeah, He has the best timing.
Throughout the remainder of the pregnancy, Sam and Tana stuck with Allie and supported her through the ups and through the downs. And before they all knew it, the day had arrived.
Oh, do you have anything else to say? To her, or your pregnancy, or the experience?
I just want to say that since the beginning of the pregnancy, I have grown a love for you. That is just completely unexplainable. I don't think I could ever love anybody as much. But because I love you so much, I want you to have the best life you can possibly have.
So you can't know how much she loves you right now.
Yeah.
So we wanted to introduce you guys to Cadence Marie Powell.
As much as we can get in.
She just looks like she's glowing.
Anyway, sorry guys. This camera thing's backwards.
She's sleepy.
Kind of in and out. In and out.
Anyway, so we kind of wanted to there's 35 people on here. We kind of wanted to bring the story to a little bit of closure with the baby being born and Allie here with us and just how everything's went. And we kind of wanted to share our hearts with you guys on how we have really seen God perform miracles. And hey, Kima. So we just, I don't know where to start. Where do you want to start?
Well, first of all, we wanted to thank everybody for all your love and support and your prayers for us. And, this has meant the world to us that so many people, so many of our friends and family would be so, invested in what we're doing as far as getting to grow our family and, not with just Cadence, but with Allie, like we've said before. I mean, she's stuck with us forever. So, we just, it really melts our hearts. I mean, Satana repeatedly talked about just how amazing this has been since the first time we announced to you guys that we were going to adopt, and how amazing our story is before we went through all this, and how much more amazing our story is going, it is now, and how the story is going to continue to grow and just become just a huge testimony to touch people all over the world, really. So.
It's amazing how far one seed can go. When Gina made the decision she did, she had no idea the outcome or the impact that her decision would have. She had no idea that her son would grow up to become an adoptive father himself, or that the birth mom would be adopted too. Adoption is not just a decision. Adoption is a seed that grows into a tree where many can come to find shade,